Brothers from Atlanta have spent their lives demonstrating Brave Conquers Fear. Their latest accomplishment, it's just awesome. The Pease brothers have finished the IRONMAN World Championship triathlon in Hawaii. For 14 hours, 29 minutes, Brent pushed, pedaled, and pulled brother Kyle, who has cerebral palsy. They are the team people stopped to watch, the team that impressed everyone who did. Together, they covered 2.5 miles in the water, Brent pulling Kyle in a raft.
Here the boys.
Then 112 miles together on a bike, finishing with a 26.2-mile run. With loved ones cheering them on, Kyle and Brent became the second ever wheelchair duo assist team to compete in the IRONMAN World Championship. A bond and partnership that started out as kids, boys who found a way to enjoy sports and life together. It carries on stronger than ever, now on a world stage. Makes you want to celebrate with them. Thank you to the Kyle Pease Foundation for the great video from Hawaii. I just saw Kyle tweet, "To say I'm in shock's an understatement. This man is a legend, hero, friend, and a brother."
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. This is our first time speaking with a timer where somebody's going to chime at us, and I do have to warn you, we're used to racing for more than 14 hours, so brevity is not really a thing that we're typically good at. But again, thank you for having us. As you saw in the video, Kyle and I competed in the IRONMAN World Championships last October. It's the hardest one-day endurance challenge on the planet. 2,500 of the fittest people in the world converge in Kona, Hawaii each fall to compete against the best. And now my brother, born with cerebral palsy, is considered an IRONMAN World Champion. And as one of the best athletes in the world, I now have to introduce him as Kona Kyle. So this is my brother, Kona Kyle.
Good evening. It's like an honor to be here, and your energy is so contagious. I get to love it. So whatever you're doing, just keep doing it, okay? 2011, Brent did his first Ironman in Louisville, Kentucky. And throughout my life, I always sat on the opposite side and watched both of my brothers compete in their sporting events. But in 2011, I saw something that spoke to me. I saw my life through an Ironman endurance race. Not only what Brent did, but all the other athletes that day. After Brent completed his first Ironman in 12 hours, 24 minutes, and 42 seconds. And yes, those 42 seconds count. I sat down at dinner, and I get started asking peppery Brent with questions. And the most important question was, can people in wheelchairs do Ironmans? One thing about me is, nobody is gonna tell me no. And we're gonna find a way to tackle it together. So that's when our journey began to become world champion athletes.
But it's really about more than that for us, and what it what it really was, what the core of what we do is about inclusion. And so Kyle talked about sitting on the other side of the fence, growing up watching his brothers play sports. And there was lots of ways for Kyle to experience sports, but you saw in the video, we grew up in a sports house. We threw things at each other, we dragged each other around in cars, and we wanted to find ways to include Kyle. And so playing wheelchair basketball or wheelchair baseball, that was a wonderful way for Kyle to experience what those sports were like. We found out that endurance sports were a way for him to be included. You see, because I have to introduce him as Kona Kyle because he finished the exact same thing that I did. He raced for 14 hours and 29 minutes, 140.6 miles, and he earned it. And it's about perseverance. You know, my parents started that message with us when we were very young, that they weren't going to give up. And that's what you see in the work that we do now, and what Kyle and I do now, is the way that we continue forward, the way that it's always one wheel or one foot. It's just always trying to find how we can move forward together. And so when Kyle asked me and he said, can people in wheelchairs do an Ironman? I instantly said yes. And then I realized I have no idea how I'm going to do this whole thing.
I love the word perseverance because it means so much. But one thing that I love most about it is perseverance leads to passion. And passion leads to hope. And I think that's what we share. Whether it's Ironman, or whether it's cooking, or whether it's being a lobbyist, we all want to persevere in our everyday life. We all want to give the gift of perseverance. You see, they told me a long time ago that I wasn't going to leave till I was 8. Here I am now. I have had roadblocks, and I will continue to have roadblocks, just as Brett will, and just as all of you will as well. But are you going to let that roadblock stop you, or are you going to persevere through that obstacle? There were many days leading up to the IRONMAN World Championship, where I said to myself, no, I can't. But then I took a wheel back, and I said, I was hoping that y'all were going to catch on to that one. But I said, no, yes, I can. This is what I wanted. This is what we wanted for that day when I saw Brett do his Ironman in Louisville, and probably that in that community dreams of going to Kona. And here we were on the biggest stage in the Ironman. It was for me and Brett to show the world through our perseverance that anything is truly possible. And that is why we created the Kyle Pease Foundation, to give other people a sense of hope, to give other people an hour to step away from their challenges and be the athlete. It's more than me and Brett. In the IRONMAN World Championships were more than me and Brett. The coolest thing that I've heard was one more athlete said, when you guys are in the World Championship, we're all in the World Championship.
So Kyle's right. There was a lot of times throughout this journey together that we could have given up, not just as kids, but really when we started down this path together of competing in endurance sports. And the first time we asked if we could get into the Ironman World Championships, they sent a letter back to me and said no. And so then I thought, if I just send them one letter a week, I saw this in a movie, one letter a week, they're going to say yes, and then I'll jump to 2 letters, and then they'll send me more books. And then they called me and said, you have to stop sending us letters, you're annoying us. But imagine if I had given up then. Imagine if Kyle and I had stopped at that point. Ironman is an excruciating mental challenge. As Kyle talked about, he saw his life. You go through this 14-hour day, this 15-hour day of ups and downs. There's minutes when you're coming out of the water and you're smiling and you're happy and you're screaming at your brother and you're so excited. And there's moments on the bike where you're so frustrated with one another that you can only say one word to each other. It's happened. But through all of that, the lessons that I learned from Kyle, the lessons that we shared together, were how we weren't going to give up on each other, how we weren't going to give up on that. In 2011, when we started this, almost immediately after finishing our first race, Kyle said, I want other people to join this too. And we thought, oh, he means like maybe mom and dad, our other brother will all come race together. But he meant that he wanted other people to experience this too. At the time, this is a 26-year-old man with a disability who just finished his first endurance race, and he wants other people to be in the World Championships with him too. It took us 9 months to find our first athlete. We thought if we just started this organization that everybody would want to experience sports the way we were. It was really hard. It was really hard for us. And we remember that first athlete that came, and we ran a 5K with him and his mother. And it was a young boy that had been a traumatic brain injury. And so most of his life was in his eyes. And his mom came up to us after the race and said, I've never seen so much life in my son's eyes. So I love the way Kyle looks at perseverance, because we could have given up on him, on Jake, on me, but we kept going. And next weekend, at our largest event, we have 62 wheelchair athletes racing alongside us, and we're all going to do the exact same thing, and we're going to get the exact same medal. And just like every other race, Kyle's going to beat me by about 1/10 of a second.
So we leave you with a couple of thoughts. What does perseverance look like to you? Are the bigger stake in your personal life? How can you make a difference in your community, with your loved ones, and what you're doing for this NEXUS community? And persevere through it all. Persevere through the roadblocks, through the obstacles. Because the only person that is holding you back is you, is me. So fight it. Hold your head up and say, yes, I can. And I can persevere through any obstacle. So say it with me, guys. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Thank you guys so much for having us.